Hey friends, it is Kate here. Thank you so much for joining me for a class today, and really joining me for day 2 of our 7-day Pilates challenge. Now this challenge is centered on beginners, however all levels are welcome to join in. As a reminder, when we do our Pilates, it's not about speed, it's really about doing it in a slow and controlled fashion, making sure our muscles, our body is working the whole time. So whether you're brand new to Pilates or you've done a few classes with me before, I am so happy to have you here. Now we will be starting standing today, so go ahead, take a moment and come up to the back of your mat. If right now you're not able to join into the class, that's absolutely fine. Go ahead and add it to your to watch later, and you can jump on your mat with me at any time. So we'll start standing at the back of our mat with our feet about hip distance apart. If they're a little bit wider, that's fine, but I don't want them more narrow. Now let's begin with a soft bend in our knees and paying attention to our pelvis, just like we did yesterday. Now yesterday we started on our back with a few pelvic tips. We're gonna do the same thing right here. You can kind of think of this as like a standing cat and cow, but we're just paying attention to our lumbar spine, our lower back, paying attention to what's going on there. Are there any kind of tension points? Now, unlike when we lay on our mat and we have our Pilates imprinted spine, we're not going to completely eliminate that curve that naturally happens in the back of our body now. I do want you to stand up, and instead of allowing your back to kind of arch, which a lot of us tend to do so, I want you to begin to pull the navel in. And it's not like I'm tucking my pelvis forward, but I'm lightly tipping the pubic bone forward so I can almost flatten out through the front of my hips. Now, just like we talked about yesterday, it's kind of like you've got a belt around the small of your waist, and it's never like I'm just sucking in. Instead, it's like that belt gets one notch tighter from either side, wrapping my oblique muscles in. Activate your legs almost like you're pulling your inner thighs together. Pretend I'm standing behind you. I just grabbed hold of both of your ears and I physically pulled them up to the sky. That feeling of stretching from your heels through the entire body, out the top of the head, that's what I want every time we arrive standing tall and straight on our mat. Now, pay attention to your hands. Physically reach your fingertips down to the ground while you keep growing and stretching your ears up a little bit higher. We should feel very active here. It's not like we're just standing, relaxing, but our muscles are engaged. Our abdominal muscles are wrapping in. You're squeezing that thigh-butt connection point and lifting the head high. Let's wake our neck up a little bit. Take a big sip of air in. As you exhale, gently dip your chin to your chest. You may feel like you're giving yourself a double chin, but that's okay. Nobody is watching you. We can look a little silly now and then. Lift the back of your head up more as you actively reach your fingertips down. Roll your right ear to right shoulder, looking forward as you do so. We should get a nice big stretch along the left side of our body, the left side of our neck, and then bring the chin back down. Roll the opposite ear to opposite shoulder. Hold there. Reach your opposite hand, the right hand down to the ground, and then bring it back. Gently roll side to side. This is not about speed. Our neck is very precious. We want to be delicate and gentle to it. As you roll side to side, notice if you're letting any of the abdominal engagement go. Can you continue to pull the navel to spine, to squeeze the thigh-butt connection point, to lift out of your waist? The next time that our chin comes back to our chest, pause with it right there, hold. Bring your gaze upright. Keep everything just as active and roll your shoulders backwards for me. Now, let's make this very active. Reach your shoulders up as high as you can, take them as far back and drop them as far down. So it's the biggest, deepest shoulder circle you can possibly do. We might feel a little kind of pops or crunches now and then. Hopefully, nothing should ever hurt. It can be a little sensational. It can be maybe more of a stretch than we're used to. That's okay. And then reverse other direction. Go ahead, take it forward. Now, ideally, we're still activating our abdominal muscles. We're still standing tall and straight. But if you've kind of let some of that go, it's okay. Just reset. You eventually let the fingertips dangle again and find that beautiful, long, tall standing position. Take a big, deep inhale. This time, dip the chin to chest, start to bend your knees, making sure they're pointing in the same direction as your toes, and begin to forward fold. Now, we'll all look and feel a little bit different here. This is not about shoving my head down to my knees or down to the ground, but I'm simply finding the deepest forward fold that feels comfortable in my body at this moment in time. Do you see that I have a great big bend in my knees? Bend your knees, friends. Do not keep them straight right now. It's not about a hamstring stretch. It's about opening up through the back of the body. Now you might feel a hamstring stretch here with our knees bent. That's okay. We're all different, but I really want you to focus on almost pulling your nose, your chin down to your pubic bone so you really round through the back of the body. Push into your feet. Pull your navel away from the top of your thighs and slowly roll all the way up to standing. Continue to look down, 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 down to the ground the entire time. Your head is the very last thing to come upright. Stand tall, stand straight. Find that big, beautiful, long standing pose. Big inhale. Again, chin to chest. Bend the knees. Slowly forward fold. I almost envision that I have weights in my hands and they are dragging me down to the ground, and it's like I'm trying to resist. I'm slowly making my way into that big forward fold, again with a nice heavy bend in both knees. Pause right here. Now this time, if you want to catch your opposite elbow, if that doesn't feel good, keep your hands wherever feels best. Take a little sway side to side, just waking up the body. No hurry. No rush. Eventually arrive center, release the fingertips. Did your shoulders rise to your ears? Can you soften them down the back here even more? Can you cinch your waist, pulling your navel from your thighs? Push into your feet, and again, slowly, one vertebra at a time, roll all the way up to standing. No hurry, no rush. Arrive tall and straight. Take a big sip of air in. Again, exhale, bend the knees, slowly forward fold. Take it at your own pace. Make sure your knees are staying in the direction of your toes. We don't want to knock them together or let them sway apart, but they are staying in line. Now, this time, if we want to, we will bend our knees deeper and perhaps straighten the legs. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Now, you might not straighten all the way. It's okay if you don't. But think about your pelvis. When you bend your knees, think about pointing your sitting bones down to the ground. When you straighten the legs, point your sitting bones, your booty, up to the sky. The more we kind of focus on our pelvis here, really rounding in as we bend, and then almost sticking our tail up, we'll probably feel this a little deeper through the hamstrings as we straighten, through the low back as we bend. Once or twice more at your own pace. And then hold there with a bend in your knees, shoulders down the back. Slowly roll all the way up to standing. Stand tall, stand straight, just right here. Pull the navel to spine, not quite eliminating that arch in our back, but just making sure we're not dumping completely forward. A light push of the pubic bone forward, broaden across your chest. Now friends, just for a moment, I want you to take your hands out in front of you and actively flex your hands. This might sound silly, but I want you to envision that you're in a plank on the ground. This is basically a plank pose. What I often see in plank is everyone kind of arches their back or drops their pelvis too far low. We need to make sure our abdominal muscles are working, holding us up anytime we're in a plank. Our shoulders are down the back. Our inner thighs are reaching towards one another. I'm cinching my waist as much as I can, and I'm still reaching my head nice and far forward. We don't want to dip the chin to our chest here. Now, we're gonna relax the hands, roll down, and crawl out to a plank. If that feels too much for us today, it's okay. You do not have to crawl out all the way. We'll start though standing tall, standing straight, big inhale. Now dip the chin to chest just like we've done. Bend the knees. Slowly, slowly, slowly roll yourself down. Now eventually, when you get low enough that you can touch the ground, start to look to the top of the mat and begin to crawl out to a great big plank pose. Now again, like I said, if we don't all the way go out to a plank, it's okay. If this is as far as we go today, guess what? That's wonderful. If we can keep crawling all the way out to a plank, pause, and once more pretend like you're standing upright, just like we did before. Squeeze where your thigh and your glute connect. Pull the navel to spine, broaden across your chest, take a big inhale, and then bend your knees, push back, finding at first your forward fold, bend the knees, roll all the way up to standing. Now, if we can, we're going to do that 2 more times. I want you to consider one other thing. We've got plenty to think about. If you have enough in your head, that's okay, but start to think about your hips. If I'm not activating my oblique muscles and my deep tummy muscles, my hips are going to sway side to side when I crawl all the way out. The more I'm activating my abdominal muscles, I'm keeping myself nice and engaged, the less likely I am to ping pong side to side. Of course, we're human, we're probably going to move a little bit, but we want to eliminate that movement as much as possible. So, stand tall, stand straight, navel to spine, head lifts high, take a big inhale, bring the chin to the chest, bend the knees, begin to forward fold. And like I've already said, if you do not go all the way out, if you stop in kind of a funky little downward facing dog, that's perfectly fine. See if we can crawl out. Are you letting your hips shift side to side? Are they staying even with one another? If we can find our plank pose, hold. Navel to spine, push the floor away, lift up and away from your wrists. Take a big inhale, bend the knees as you exhale, walk your hands back in. One more time, just like that. Slow, steady, take it at your own pace. Stand tall, stand straight, big deep inhale. Exhale, chin to chest, bend the knees. Slowly roll down. Now we are going to roll out, find our plank, and then drop down to a little child's pose. If you do not want to hold the plank, you can immediately drop your knees down, find your child's pose. We always have options, friends. I want you to feel successful when we're in class, not as if I'm making you do something that you don't like. Take a big inhale no matter where you are. Exhale, one knee down, opposite toes together, knees can be together or apart, your choice. Reach into that child's pose, take a little stretch there. Send your sitting bones back, curl your fingertips forward, big deep inhale. Big breath out. And then come on up to our hands and our knees. We're going to be in a tabletop position for a while. A couple of options, friends. First and foremost, if we have sad wrists, if being on our hands and wrist does not feel good, you can always drop down to your forearms. You also have the option to roll up the front edge of your mat, bring the heels of your hands on and point your fingertips down, and you have greatly reduced that great big flexion that happens in our wrists. That's always a wonderful option. For me though, the more that I open up my palms, suction cup them to the mat, and instead of thinking about pushing down, I envision I'm physically trying to reach them up in a way like they are glued there, and I'm like trying to get them up. That's how that helps my wrist. Another thing that I often see, and if you've taken a few classes from me before, you'll probably know what I'm about to say, but I do not want to see that Beyonce booty moment. That's where we stick our butt out behind us. Easy to do, but not so good on our lumbar spine. Like we did lying on our back yesterday, like we did standing just a moment ago, pull the navel to spine, wrap the abdominal muscles in. I would 100% rather see a little bit of roundness than any arching here. So, think about growing long from the top of your head like I'm pulling your ears forward while someone else is pulling your hips back, and you are lifting your tummy muscles up and in. From here, can we extend our right foot out behind us? Take the leg only so high as your hip. It can be lower. I do not want it higher. Right in line with the hip is the ideal position. Did you Beyonce booty at all when you lift it up? I hope not, but if so, you adjust. Squeeze where your thigh and your glute connect so hard you could hold a pencil there. From here, I want you to tap your foot to the floor. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Inhale, tap the foot to the floor. Exhale, squeeze and lift. As you go up and down, notice if you're putting too much pressure through your wrist. Again, can we lift up and away? Notice if you're arching your back. Do not arch the back. We want to keep the low back long and straight to protect our lumbar spine. The next time that you lift the leg up, hold. Grow long from the top of your head through your body out your toe. The minute you need a break, you can set your foot down. It's okay. You're doing fabulous. But otherwise, can you give me 5 tiny circles of our lifted leg? Think about these circles coming from your upper thigh. The toe moves, but really it's my thigh that's really active. We're going to go around 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Reverse your circles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. pause. Again, just like we talked about in our little plank walk, are your hips swiveling side to side? Keep them still, pause. Last time, reverse, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Take a pause if you need to. Otherwise, take a moment, grow long from the top of your head through your body, out your toe. Again, we're gonna tap our toe down, but off the mat over to the right. Exhale, swim it behind your hip. Inhale, tap the toe down. Exhale, cinch the waist, lift. As you take the toe down and up, does it feel like you are letting your left hip move off to the side? Keep it as still as possible, friends. No hurry, no rush. 2 more down. Exhale, cinch and lift. Last one down. Lift, pause, pull up and away from the ground. Take a big sip of air in. Set your knee down. Knees can be together or apart. Sink back in a child's pose. This time, tent your fingertips, lifting the wrists so we relieve some of that pressure that was just happening there. Big inhale. Big breath out. Relax the neck. Relax the jaw. Take a pause. Take a moment. Rise to hands and knees when we're ready. Now, just like we set ourselves up from earlier, grow long from your head, through your spine, out your tail. No Beyonce booty. Knit the ribs together, broaden across the chest, and then send your left leg or your opposite leg behind you. Friends, if you ever do the wrong side, it's okay. I do the wrong side half the time myself. We'll always do both. Now, again, squeeze your thigh-butt connection point. Squeeze it so hard you could hold a pencil between your glute and your hamstring. That's how much I want that active. Cinch the waist a little, broaden across the chest. Just like we started before, we'll tap our foot to the floor, exhale, lift. Tap our foot to the floor, exhale, lift. Now, each time I pick up the leg, not only do I think about squeezing my that thigh-butt connection point, I knit the ribs in a little deeper. I use my big, deep tummy muscles to pull my navel closer to the center of my body. Last time, lift up and pause. Hold there. Is there tension through your jaw? Can you relax? You can shake it out. You can smile. Can you grow longer from your head through your body, out your toe? Teeny tiny circles of our lifted leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Last time, reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Lift up and away from the mat. Don't feel like you're pressing down, down, down. Pull away. Now touch your toe off the mat over to the left. Exhale, swim it behind you. Inhale, tap the toe down. Exhale, bring it behind you. Now, it's easy to kind of look back at your toe, but that does take our neck out of alignment instead. I find it easiest if you look at the front edge of your mat right here, or you pretend like I'm standing at the top of your mat. I'm physically holding both of your ears and I'm pulling your ears towards the wall in front of you. 2 more down and up. Now, this next time, lift and pause. Take a big, deep, full inhale. Set the knee down. Press back to your child's pose. Tent your fingertips. Drop the forehead down. Is there tension through your neck or your jaw? If so, friends, it's not as if you've done anything wrong, but we have activated muscles that were not really meant to be working so hard. So shake it out, wiggle all you want to. The next time that you feel like you're cramping through your jaw, through your neck, bring that attention to your low belly. Work those tummy muscles instead. Now we're gonna rise to our hands and knees once more. Lift up and away from the mat. Pull the tummy up and in. A little bit different, but we will start with our right foot behind us. Now this time, tuck your toe, push your heel back so you get a nice little stretch to the back of our calf muscle. That should just feel good. Sometimes it feels really good to me to round and drop so we get a nice little stretch to the back of our body. Eventually, we are going to come back to center. Before you go anywhere, pull the navel to spine, lengthen through the the back of the body, and crawl your left hand away. So we've got our right foot out behind us and our left fingers in front of us. It's kind of like a little spider right there. I'm kind of lifting up and away. You could press the whole palm down, but do you see my shoulder kind of drops? So for me, it feels best to keep my fingertips lifted. Now, this might be enough for us just to keep our fingers kind of reaching out and away and challenging our balance. So we've got an option to stay. If we want to take it deeper though, we're going to lift up both the hand and foot this time. Start with the foot, point the toe, and then perhaps lift the hand. Now friends, drop it down if you need to. Reach it out in front of you to make yourself like a little tripod instead. That's okay. But similar to what we did before, we're going to tap our toe and finger down. Exhale, lift. Tap toe and finger down. Exhale, lift. 3 more down. Exhale, lift. 2 more down. Exhale, lift. Last one down. Lift, pause, take a big breath. Set the hand down. Set the foot down. Push back to your child's pose. Tent your fingertips. Drop your head. Big inhale. Big breath out. Rise to hands and knees again. Now we'll start with the left leg out behind us or the opposite foot. Push the heel back. Get that lovely little stretch. Again, if it feels nice to curl, to drop the chin down. I almost think about pulling my pubic bone and my nose towards one another so I really round through the back of the body. Then elongate the spine. Are you Beyonce bootying here? I hope not. Navel to spine, shoulders broad. Crawl your opposite hand away. So I've got my right hand out, my left foot out. Belly button in, big inhale. As you exhale, float your left foot up. Take another breath, float your right hand up, push away from the mat, broaden across your chest, knit the ribs together more. Inhale, hand and toe down, exhale, lift. Inhale, hand and toe down, exhale, squeeze and lift. 3 more down, exhale up. 2 more down, exhale up. Last one. Lift, pause, squeeze your thud, cinch your waist, reach long from your fingers through your body out your toe. Set your hand down, set your knee down, push back, crawl the fingers away, drop the head down. Big, deep inhale. Big breath out. Slowly roll up to a seat. If kneeling does not feel good for us, it's okay. But otherwise, just roll the shoulders back, lift up and away from your body. Pull the navel in. Take a big inhale, hands lift high. Exhale, hands behind the head. Push the elbows wide. Take a breath. Little twist right. Look forward. Little twist left. Look forward. And let that go. Now we're going to lie on our tummies. So take a moment. Position yourself down on the ground. You do not have to be graceful while you come down to the mat. Just plop on down if you need. From here though, I'm going to remain lightly upright so I can keep talking to you. You can do the same as me, opening your elbows wide, pushing down through both of your palms and kind of lifting away so we have some spinal extension. If this feels too much in our neck or even in our low back, you can drop your forehead to your hands so we can relax those body parts. We're going to pay attention to our low body a little bit more. Now, anytime I lie on my stomach, the very first thing that I do myself and I want you to do is push your pubic bone into the ground. As you drive the pubic bone down, I hope that you noticed your glutes and hamstrings working. Most often when I hear from my students that they do not like lying on their tummy, it's usually because they tell me, I feel some tension through my low back. If you are not working your glutes and your hamstrings while doing any sort of prone work, any sort of tummy work, yes, you will feel some tension through the low back. So it's not just our abs working, it is our back of body muscles too. Pubic bone down. Squeeze your thud so hard you could hold a pencil there. Reach your feet further away from your body so you almost flatten out the place where your pockets would be. Your legs can be together or a little bit further apart. Do what works best for your hips right now. Gently push down into the top of your left foot. Activate that left leg so much your knee almost pulls away from the mat. Now take a big sip of air in. As you exhale, squeeze the thigh butt connection point on your right leg so much you must float the foot away from the ground. If it feels like you've arched into your back, pubic bone down. belly button up and in. Send the foot further and further away from your body. Take a big inhale. Set your foot down. Exhale, pick up your opposite leg. Now we're just going to lift and lower one leg and then the other. Now as you lift and lower, notice, is one hip sinking deeper into the mat as you do so? Are you kind of swaying to one side or the other? Can you push more into your pubic bone? And can you pull your belly button away from the mat a little bit more? The more that I activate my glutes, my hamstrings, and my deep tummy muscles, the more even I'm able to stay on my little mat. Last time, up and down to both sides. Set both feet down. If your head is lifted like mine, do take it down for just a moment. Bend your knees. Take a little windshield wiper, side to side. Now, let's keep our low body just as active as we had it, but instead focus on our upper body. Take your hands out in front of you like you were super person flying away. Now, I'm going to keep my head, again, a little bit lifted because I've got a mic, but your head can actually touch the ground if you want to. Slide the shoulders down the back. Press your pubic bone down into the mat. Squeeze your thigh butt connection point. You could hold a pencil between your glute and hamstrings. Knit the ribs together and pull the belly button up and in. Keep the low body just as active this entire time. Do not relax there. Now from here, take a big sip of air in. As you exhale, float your entire right arm away from the ground. As you lifted the arm, did it feel like the weight shifted anywhere in your body? Press deeper into both feet. Press deeper into your pubic bone. Pull your navel up and in. Set the right hand down. Exhale, pick up the left arm. Inhale, drop it down. Exhale, pick up the right arm. Drop it down. Take it at your own pace, back and forth. The whole time you're here, pretend I'm standing at the front of your mat, holding your ears, gently pulling your ears towards the wall in front of you. Again, it's kind of like we're standing tall and straight, just like we did at the start of class. Now, one more time, right and left. And then after this next time that you lift the left hand, go ahead and drop it down. Take the hands in front of your forehead again. Bend the knees, little windshield wiper, side to side. And then from here, elongate your legs. Take your right hand away from your body. Bring your left hand by your side. Your nose is going to point in the same direction as your bent left elbow. Bend your left leg. We're just going to take a little twist. Push into your hand and twist towards the leg. If you get a pop in your back, I just did too. That should feel nice. Take a big inhale. Roll to your tummy. Slide your right hand in. Slide your left hand out. Bring your left ear to the ground and bend your right leg. Push into your right hand to take that twist to the other side. Your foot does not have to touch the ground. It might be floating away. It could be straight. Really depends on your body, friends. Roll back to your tummy. Hands by your sides. Push back again to a child's pose. Knees together or apart. Crawl your fingertips further away. Big, full inhale. Big breath out. Roll yourself up to a nice tall seat. Shoulders back, head high. Slide the hands high over your head. Hopefully you don't run into a plant. Both hands behind you. Push the elbows wide. Big deep inhale. Little twist to the right. Inhale, look forward. Little twist left. Inhale, look forward. Let it go. Friends, as always, pat yourself on the back. Thank yourself for doing something so good and just for you. I am so excited to have you here on our day 2 of our 7-day Pilates challenge. I certainly cannot wait to see you tomorrow for day 3. Thank you again for joining me for our day 2 of our 7-day Pilates challenge. To see this and the rest of the series, be sure to download our app, the Yoga Plus app, and I will see you on the mat.
Welcome to Yoga Plus. Courses available from pupil to yogi. Sort by yoga, fitness, and instructors. Create your own routines. Access the pose library. Yoga Plus by Psyche Truth, available on Google Play and the App Store.
Join us for 14 and 30-day programs, hour-long classes, and much more on our yoga app, Yoga Plus by Psyche Truth. It's free to download and features a variety of wellness content, including yoga, fitness, Pilates, guided meditations, and interviews with dozens of wellness experts.